what's going on, everybody? Steve here, and welcome back to episode number 7 of the E2A Flippers podcast. And today I had a conversation with my sourcing team, my team of 2 virtual assistants who purchase items from eBay to Amazon for me. And today I wrote out a little SOP of 8 things to consider when it comes to purchasing items from eBay that have stock photos. So this is a question I get all the time from folks. Can I buy an item on eBay that has a stock photo to sell on Amazon? And my answer is yes, you can purchase items that are just a stock photo, but there's 8 criteria that you need to pass in order to say yes, check it off and purchase it. So I wanted to go through this in today's video and just go through the different things that I shared with my team to just, again, verify that they make sure they do these, because my team, they source most of my items from eBay to Amazon. We're spending about $30,000 per month right now on eBay, and I have 2 VAs that source like 95% plus of the inventory for me. Okay. Now I do want to say, before we get into this, thanks so much, everybody. We've got 13 reviews over on Apple for our E2A Flippers podcast, 5 stars. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. And make sure, hey, if you have any questions regarding eBay to Amazon, maybe you're thinking about getting started, or maybe there's something that you're on the fence about, head over to rakeandprofit.com/asksteve. I'll put a link down below for the folks watching on YouTube. But for the podcast listeners, go over there and you can ask a question and I'll feature you in an upcoming podcast. So again, go over there, ask a question, and thanks everybody for the positive reviews. So let's get into the 8 things to consider when dealing with stock photos that you're going to purchase from eBay to flip on Amazon. So number 1, did you read the title and description in full to make sure the eBay seller didn't slip in something about the product regarding condition, damage, missing pieces, open box, etc. I'll see this all the time where, you'll see a stock photo or even an item that's brand new with an actual picture, and they'll sneak in, like they won't show it in the photo, the dent, but they'll sneak it in the description, and they think it's going to protect them the event that, we open a case to return an item. It's unfortunate, but you have to make sure whether it's you or someone on your team, you're reading the title, you're looking at the description to make sure they're not hiding, any keywords that are going to be red flags. Number 2, does the eBay seller have good feedback and enough feedback? For example, if the buyer has less than 100 feedback, in my opinion, and any less than, I'd say 95% positive feedback. I put 85%, but that's pretty low because it's pretty easy to get positive feedback. This would be a hard pass for me. So anything under 85%, 100%, I'm not buying for the most part. I mean, I'll look at the reviews, but anything under 95% positive feedback, I'm going to be going and taking a look to see why. I'm going to look into their store. I'm going to figure out, why are they getting negative feedback? Are they selling counterfeits, damaged items? And again, the big concern with a stock photo is you don't know the condition. You're having to, just hope that they're selling you something that's what you think it is. Like if you're buying a brand new item, and this is mostly for brand new sealed items, you want to make sure it's not dented. You want to make sure it's not ripped, and you want to make sure the seal's not missing or the tags, because then you can't really sell it as new. Like there's exceptions to the rule that we'll talk about in future episodes, but as much feedback as possible, like preferably you want to see like 1,000, 2,000 feedback with like 100% positive feedback, because they care, right? It's kind of like, I'm a landlord. I have a couple rental properties, and I like to rent to people who have good credit because, that means they care about their credit. And obviously things happen in life. People have bad credit, bad decisions, but someone who has really good credit, it doesn't happen by accident. And it's the same with positive feedback. Number 3, what else is in the eBay seller's store? Is it a bunch of items that are just stock photos? Or is it just a one-off stock photo where maybe the seller just listed it because it was easy and it maybe just like auto-generated on eBay or whatnot? I don't know. I haven't even listed on eBay in a while. I'd prefer to see the eBay seller has items with normal photos, and maybe this was just a one-off. So take a look in the eBay store. Is it all stock photos? Are they selling super sketchy items? Just take a peek. Number 4, is the seller a huge seller with a lot of positive feedback? If so, then a lot of them use stock photos, so I'm okay with this. So I kind of already alluded to this in point number 2. Does the seller have good feedback and enough feedback? But I want to see, there are really big sellers out there who just deal with so many products that they just have to use stock photos, especially a lot of like book sellers and media sellers. So if it's a big seller with a lot of feedback and a lot of positive feedback, and even if they don't have much of a description, I'm okay to take the risk. And remember, even if you kind of get screwed, you could always return the item as item not described if the item's actually not described. It doesn't matter if they accept returns or not. Number 5, are the margins really good? If the margins are on the fence and maybe you want to hit a 30% margin and it's like, maybe it's just right at the 30%, like maybe 30% is your minimum and it's at 30%, but it's a stock photo. And maybe, I don't know, like maybe it's just a little slower of a seller. Maybe it's not worth the risk. The more risk that you incur in your business, maybe it's risk of a higher rank or risk of condition with a stock photo or a bad seller, you want a higher reward to make up for that risk. If the margins are like, and it's a stock photo and the feedback might not be that great, or maybe there's somewhat of a new seller, maybe you want to pass on it. Number 6, did we message the seller? So I tell my team, if it's a stock photo and you're on the fence, message the seller. If the deal is iffy, then it's best to send a message and make sure the item is what we want instead of having to deal with a return and holding up cash flow. And that's the downside. I mean, even though they might say, oh, I'm not taking returns or you can't get your money back. If it's not described, you could open up a case and get your money back, but there's still a downside because you're going to be having your money held up in that product and you're not going to get your money back instantly. So that's going to cause, especially at scale, cash flow issues. So, the goal of flipping E to A is to put our money into products that flip quickly. Put $40 into a product, we bring back, 50. So we have an extra 10. We keep compounding that into more products to build our inventory value and then eventually build out higher cash payouts and then eventually get to a point where we don't have to keep spending so much to grow and we get to enjoy, positive cash flow and money in our pocket. So, did we message a seller? I would recommend messaging the seller. Half the time they might not ever respond. So if it's a really great deal with a stock photo, just pop on it. If it's like on the fence, message the seller. Number 7, is the seller super specific about no returns? Like I've had that where I've been considering buying an item that, is a stock photo, but like the feedback is low. Maybe they have a couple negative feedbacks and like they have no return policy and they put it in the description. Like they have nothing about the product, but in the description, it's like no returns whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. Like they're going to be a pain in the butt. I don't want to do business with people like that. You might want to, that's fine. It's up to you. But for me, like I just want to avoid the drama. So if they're going to show their true colors out there like that, and you're going to put a stock photo up, like what about us? Like you're going to put a stock photo up and say no returns. What are you freaking Goodwill? Number 8, is this item super popular and fast selling? Do they have a bunch of popular fast selling inventory on their eBay account with stock photos? If so, it worries me about counterfeits. So for example, maybe you're in the DVD market, you're looking to flip some DVDs and you see their whole store is like full of DVDs that are like less than 10,000 rank. It's all stock photos. They got that crazy little Chinese freaking animation on the pictures. Like those are scams. Stay away from that stuff, guys. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it probably is a duck. So, no offense to the ducks out there, but I tell you right now, you don't want to buy those ducks all the time because you're going to have massive cash flow issues and lose out on money. So if it's too good to be true, just stay away from it, guys. If it's a stock photo of something really popular and really current, and it's an amazing deal, and it's just like the seller has weird feedback, stay away. Don't even waste your time sending messages. There's like literally thousands of opportunities that won't put your account at risk. So hopefully you enjoyed this podcast episode and the 8 things to consider when either you or your team is looking to purchase an item from eBay to flip on Amazon that has only a stock photo. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a big favor and head over to Apple, leave an honest, hopefully a positive review if you enjoyed this. Share it with a friend. If you have any more questions, go over to rakeandprofit.com/asksteve. And if you want any one-on-one help and you want to join our community and you want to get your questions answered and fast track your results, check out our eBay to Amazon masterclass. You can check it out at rakeandprofit.com/E2A masterclass. We'd love to have you over there. We'd love to help you and support you. I'm super passionate about helping people flipping from E to A. And again, just want to thank you for watching. Much love. See you in the next one. Bye.